Hello, my name is Terry Dean Nemmers, and on July 6th, 2011, and again on September 7th, 2011, I was maliciously arrested by the lawless thugs down here in the lawless Pope County Sheriff's Department for engaging in illegal activities. First, for trying to file and film a criminal complaint against the spray plane that was harassing me, and for the second time, for handing out legal information at a public meeting, trying to expose local corruption, and explaining to the thugs at the elected thugs at the meeting that I was maliciously arrested by the lawless thugs down here in the lawless Pope County, Minnesota. And now I'm being maliciously prosecuted by the lawless Pope County attorney. Alright? Speaking of the lawless Pope County attorney, I just saw an interesting news article, or news program last night on KSAX TV. KSAX TV, God-hating un-American sons of bitches who love and support local corruption, that is. Okay? And on their October 13th broadcast, at 6 p.m., who would they have on there? Neil the Tamperer Nelson, didn't they? Yep. Obviously, Neil must be back into image repair mode, because you remember, he's been on KSAX TV before, alright? Never been on KSAX TV prior to my malicious arrest of July 6, 2011, but he has been on since, alright? On April 7th, 2011, there was just a mention of Neil, okay? But on July 25th, when I'm sitting down there in the Wilmer jail for a malicious competency evaluation, he gets on KSAX TV. And also again on September 28th. Alright? But now again, he's on there for an alleged sex offender. Okay? Now obviously this is now after I've been putting up videos that Neil has been tampering with my evidence, withholding evidence, and, well, in a couple of words, he's obstructing justice, which of course is a crime, isn't it? Yeah. So obviously Neil is in major image repair mode, because obviously Sheriff Riley was in image repair mode when I was in jail also. Remember, he was on KSAX TV. He wasn't on KSAX TV prior to my malicious arrest, but he was on KSAX TV on 8/1/11. That's August 1st, 11. And again on August 25th, 11, when my neighbor died. Okay? Crawled up on his casket and tried to repair his image there. See what he's trying to do? Okay? So obviously that's what old Neil is trying to do now, again, with KSX TV and this deal right here. Okay? Now I'm not condoning this guy's actions or anything, but I'm just going to read through here and tell you what to be looking out for. Alright? First of all, it's an arrest in lawless Pope County, Minnesota. Any arrest, prosecution, or conviction that involves Neil the Tamperer Nelson, you can't trust, can you? See? Alright? So let's start off at the beginning of the article here. Starbuck Level 3 sex offender arrested for criminal sexual conduct. That was 10/13/6, and that was yesterday. Okay, that they did the news broadcast. It was at 6 p.m., 5 and 6 that I watched it. Okay, it says that a level 3 sex offender was arrested Tuesday for criminal sexual conduct in Pope County. Okay, not Pope County, it's lawless Pope County, Minnesota. See, that's the problem when you deal with people like KSAX TV, those God-hating un-American sons of bitches who love and support local corruption. They don't tell you the whole story. They don't tell you about all the local corruption that goes on down there. They help cover it up. That's what they do. So keep that in mind as I'm reading this. Okay, so anyhow, it says this guy was arrested by the Starbuck Police Department. Oh wait, no, don't deputies from the lawless Pope County Sheriff's Department work part-time in the lawless Starbuck Police Department? Yeah, they do. Okay, so you can already see there's a problem, because remember, Sheriff Timmy Riley has broken into my house, yeah, without a warrant. Okay, and we're going to get that here in a second, because it says they executed a search warrant at his home shortly after 1 p.m. on October 11th. Boy, you better check, see if there's a signature on there, boys. Because they broke into my house without a warrant. Still don't have that warrant. See? Okay, and then taken to the Douglas County Jail, where they tamper with your legal mail. Okay? Now, according to the complaint, allegedly this guy forced this woman to have sex with him on October 7th. Now, they're old acquaintances, and she'd been at his house for a few days. Okay. Now, see, I got some problems with this now, too. So, obviously, they've been having sex the whole time. But, had consensual sex earlier Friday morning. No, they've had consensual sex since they've been there. Okay? But then later, he raped her after smoking methamphetamine. But she wasn't smoking methamphetamine, right? But he was at that time. But she wasn't the whole time. Yeah, see, that's the part they want to leave out. And the victim told police she did not fight back, fearing for her life. Okay, now they're old acquaintances. She's been there for a few days, but now all of a sudden he just flips out and forces himself on her. Boy, that just seems kind of strange to me. And, oh, now we got Neil coming on here. In fact, how about we listen to what Neil says now? So we'll play the clip. Here we go.
Anytime you have an allegation that there was a forced penetration, it is a very scary crime for those in the community to even hear about. So it's something that has to be taken very seriously.
Scary, Neil? Scary, right? No, what's scary is when you include Neil Nelson in any arrest, prosecution, and conviction in lawless Polk County. That's what's scary. That's what people should be really scared about, shouldn't they? Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then allegedly she did not report the crime immediately. Okay, now that sends bells and sends off red flags or waves red flags for me. You know, I got real problems with this. This is part of the thing here. She waits till she gets to Buffalo. There aren't hospitals between here and Buffalo. Okay. So now he's charged with 2 charges of criminal sexual conduct. Okay. Now his previous convictions were for having sex with minors twice. Okay. But now he's supposedly molesting some 30-year-old. Okay? That doesn't seem to match his MO to start with. Okay? But now, to appear fair and balanced, KSCX TV, those God-hating un-American sons of bitches who love and support local corruption, get this guy who looks like he's a homeless guy wandering around Starbucks. And he speaks up for this guy. Okay? So how about we play that clip now?
Anyone's going to say, oh, he's a sex offender, lock him up. I don't think that's right. I mean, you're innocent until proven guilty in this situation. I think the cops are saying he's guilty until proven innocent. You know, take it to trial, see what happens. I hope the truth comes out, and I hope the truth is that he didn't do it.
He said take it to trial, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this guy should take a plea bargain. He shouldn't roll over. He should fight it tooth and nail. But take it to trial in lawless Polk County, where he's probably going to get Jeff Worthless as tits on a boar Coon as his public defender. Or if he's actually smart enough, you know, then get him assigned as an advisory council. Or this guy's dumb enough to actually pay Jeff Worthless's tits on a boar Coon to defend him. Now you've seen my deal with Jeff Worthless's tits on a boar Coon, and you've seen that he hasn't helped me in the slightest. Has he told me that they're withholding evidence on me? No. No. Jeff has helped them in numerous ways. Okay, the only thing that Jeff did was he put in a discovery request, which did help. I'll give him that. Okay. Obviously, they're going to make sure he never ever does that again. Okay. But again, what has he done since? All right. Nothing. Worthless as tits on a boar. All right. So, but of course, you know, they have to get this guy on there saying, take it to trial because justice will be found there. No, it's kangaroo court, lawless Pope County. Remember, you got crook John Stashel. He's got a vested interest in my case. And when I start bringing up his criminal past, he sends me down to Wilmer for a malicious competency evaluation. And then when I get maliciously arrested the second time, I run in front of that crook David Menace, who violates my rights because I'm practicing my religious beliefs, because I bring up the fact that he violated my religious beliefs in a previous hearing, and that he got arrested during during the case of John Besser. He wanted to cover that up too. Yeah, see, so, oh, and how can I forget my current kangaroo court judge, Glazerud, who's going out of his way to obstruct justice and cover up the fact that my due process rights have been violated because they're withholding evidence over and over and over again. See? So if you think you're going to get justice in a Pope County kangaroo court, it's only because you're going to force them to give you justice, not because they're going to voluntarily give you justice. You got to force them to give you justice. All right? So again, don't believe everything you read from the lawless Pope County police reports. Don't believe anything from Neil Nelson, and certainly don't believe anything from KSAX TV, those God-hating un-American sons of bitches who love and support local corruption. Thank you for your time.
revoked. KSAX needs to have their broadcasting license revoked. KSAX needs to have their broadcasting license revoked. Because part of the license agreement is to provide news. Information about local corruption is news. They refuse to provide you with the news.
Well, you can explain it.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to explain it when I'm being harassed and falsely arrested, so you can fuck off.
All right, that'll work.
Yeah.